We are live, Believe Nation. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday is my YouTube day. Spending time making YouTube videos for you guys. Morning is usually strategy, ideas, direction, planning, and afternoon is actual content creation. And I use this as my segue, as my bridge to spend time with you guys. It's my little break, and then into content creation. Welcome Robert. Welcome Beau. Welcome Nina. Welcome Jeff in the house. Appreciate you guys. What else? We got Ronald. We got insaf. Hassan. I don't know if I pronounced that one okay. Hope so. Lynn, Hassan, Julie, Grant, hashim. Welcome. I'm waiting on a special guest from my Movement Makers program that we're going to do some Q&A and value add on top of. But until she's in here, let's get to what you guys got for me. I like having one day to do YouTube stuff because it's I would find that just sitting down to make one YouTube video takes so much energy and effort and just mindset and get into the right headspace, that then you could just make 3 more videos, 4 more videos, 8 more videos in the same amount of time. And so I think to go from making a YouTube, I pronounced it perfectly? All right. To go from making a video to then writing a book to then a client call to then like whatever else you have to do, mentoring, the shifting of the energy zones, I think is too distracting, and I think it actually limits your ability to win and be productive. Zen, the man in the house, welcome. I love it. What else do I see here? Did you see Michelle's speech? I did not. Michelle, who's Michelle? Michelle Obama? That's the only Michelle I can think of. I have not seen a new speech from Michelle Obama, so let me know. Thomas says, love your new book. Appreciate you, man. Love your content. Awesome. Thank you for the love. I love it. What's this new speech now? I'm excited for what this new speech is that I haven't seen yet. What's the speech that I need to see, guys? Okay, what else we got? Hello. Welcome. Everybody saying lots of love. Appreciate you guys. Where is? I don't see her. Still don't see her in the chat. Okay, while we wait for her to join, let's pop some questions up. Ronald asks, what was the last thing you've learned and want to share with us? What was the last thing I've learned and want to share with you? The last thing I've learned that I want to share with you. I think the importance of when you are trying to set a new habit to predict where you're going to stumble, where you're going to fall down, where it's not going to work, and to have a plan for what's going to happen. So I've just started my new FlexCX. I actually updated let me show you guys. I updated the FlexCX printout. You guys can get this for free if you want to. You can DM me or just get it from the website. Let me show you. Okay, we're going to look at the FlexCX. Here we go. FlexCX. Okay, so this was the old FlexCX where it was just the numbers, right? Like cross off whatever habit you want to try to build. Do it for 18 days. That's the minimum number of days you have to do to be able to make a habit stick. Minimum consecutive action, right? Consecutive days, not taking a day off here and there, right? 18 days straight. So I'm doing my new FlexCX. I've got 2 days done, day 3. But what's super helpful, the new addition that I made this time around was here, where you write down what your habit is, fine. Why you're doing it, super important. But then the triggers, they're going to lead you to wanting to go back to your old ways, to not follow through. What's going to happen in your life that's going to prevent you from following through on the new habit? So for me, one of the things, what I'm doing here, what this challenge is about is fasting until 5 o'clock, eating a keto meal at 5, and then salad at 9. And that's it. So nothing until 5. It's 2 o'clock here. All I've had is black coffee and some sea salt until 5. Then I'm going to have one meal, and then I'm going to have a salad at 9. That's it. And then what are the triggers that will prevent me from doing it? Well, get a headache is one. When I get a headache, food helps. Salt especially helps. Like salty foods really help me when I get a headache. So, chips or anything super salty would really help. So my plan was when I get a headache to turn on the air conditioning, drink water, get some fresh air. I should add rock salt to that too. And what happened yesterday was my allergies were out of control for whatever reason. I don't know what happened yesterday. I haven't had allergies in a while, but yesterday was out of control. I had a giant headache, and I can predict it, right? Like now I have a plan for what to do. Turn the AC on. I'm sitting there in 50-degree air conditioning in my office. Drank lots of water, got some fresh air, and had some rock salt. So when you're trying to build a habit, to this question, Ronald, appreciate you. When you're trying to build a habit, it's great to have the days crossing off, but writing specifically down what is your habit, why it's so important to you, and then understanding what's going to trigger you back to your old ways, where you're going to let yourself off the hook, where you're going to say, it's okay, I don't have to do it today, where it's going to be hard and difficult, challenging, what's going to happen, and then what is your reaction going to be so that you stay consistent on it, right? Having that plan in advance is super, super, super helpful. Anyway, that's something I learned. Let's see if she's here in the chat. I don't think I see her here. Lady Lexi, if you're here in the chat. There she is. Oh, it says you're unable to join. Lady Lexi, it says you're unable to join. I can't invite you in. I don't know why. Try leaving and coming back in and requesting to join so that we could bring you in. I don't know if it's your phone or what. It's not letting me invite you. So leave and then click request to join. Thanks, says Ronald. All right, much love. Happy to help. Lady Lexi says yes. All right, let's make it happen. Leave and come back. While we wait for her, let's go to another one. Shivam is saying how to build a habit. Oh, I just answered that, right? 18 days at a time. Get the FlexCX. It's free. There she is, Lady Lexi. All right, we're going to make it happen. Here we go. Let's get ready. It's happening!
Hey, there you are!
Hey, all right. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you too.
Where's home for you?
Home is in the Netherlands.
Home is in the Netherlands. Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, it's on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the Netherlands. For my first book, Your One Word, I think of besides Canada and the US, the Netherlands, I think, was number 3 or 4 of people who've bought around the world, which is crazy. I mean, I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs, but it's a small country compared to bigger countries. But anyway,
17 million people.
Tiny, right?
It's the size of Florida, I think.
It's tiny. Anyway,
yeah.
I love the entrepreneurs there. So Lady Lexi is part of my Movement Makers program, and I'm here to help. So what do you got? How can I help?
Well, I'm writing a book for entrepreneurs, business owners who have their own team. And I understand that you have a team all over the world. And I wanted to know, how do you work with your team? How do you encourage them? How do they help you grow your business? Because the book is for people who want to experience freedom in their business and through their business. So what can you tell them about culture in your, just start somewhere.
Yeah, sure, okay. Just start somewhere, good. So when I first started my company, I always thought I'd have a local team. I always thought it'd be I'm in Toronto, Canada. It'd all be Toronto people, go to the office every day and have my group. And then as I started bringing people on, I found that the people on my company, they wanted to travel, they wanted to explore. I was the oldest person in my company, and they all wanted to kind of explore and see the world. And I never thought about hiring remote. I didn't like the idea of hiring remote, but I thought, you know what, if they're great and they can still do their work, why not do that and make it happen? And they proved the case that it was doable and very workable. And so ever since, all I've done is basically hired remote. So we've got 30 people on the team. There's some who are local here to Toronto. If I'm doing filming, for example, I can't outsource a film crew to the Netherlands. But most of the people are around the world. And one is understanding that if you want to grow your big idea, you have to have a team. At the beginning, it's you, and that's fine. And I love that. I love the idea of starting yourself and building from there, but you can't do everything yourself. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in trying to do everything themselves, hiring one person, and then it doesn't work out, and so they say, forget it, I'm not hiring again, I'm just going to do it myself. And you can go quickly doing it yourself, but you can't go very far doing it yourself. You're always going to be limited because you always have only so many hours in a day that you can spend working. And if you believe, like I believe, that everybody has Michael Jordan level, genius at something, then you have to surround yourself with the people who can take all the stuff off your plate that you don't enjoy doing and you're not very good at or don't want to be good at. So now we've got people spread out around the world, and even the ones who are local here in Toronto, because of coronavirus, I'm not meeting every day anyway. They're not coming over here. We're not hanging out. So in terms of keeping the culture, I think, one, it starts with defining the culture and recruiting based off the culture. So if you look at my job postings, it'll always lead with, if I'm looking for a video editor, for example, it'll be like, looking for a video editor who believes in entrepreneurs. That's the headline. And then the first part of the job ad will all be about believe and what it means and the mission that we're on, and just oozing belief. And we do it that way because some people may see that and say, this is the stupidest job ad I've ever seen. And that's great. Like, don't apply. We're not going to work well together. And other people will see that and say, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And so right away from the job ad, we're already allowing people to self-select in or out. And most job ads have no emotion, have no heart, don't speak to the culture that you're trying to build, and just talk about, you must have 4 years experience in whatever field and know how to use these programs. And so that ends up getting you all sorts of different kinds of people who may not fit the culture or the mission of what the business is about. So we flip it by leading with that. Next, I think the most important part of leadership is wanting people to win as humans more than you want them to win with you. And so I just want people to win. And sometimes that means they stick with me, and sometimes that means they have to go off and do something else. But when people feel that you want them to win and not just get the work done, that switches from you getting their brains to you actually getting their heart and soul as well. And so on Mondays, which was yesterday, I spend the whole day just coaching and mentoring the team. No, not operations focused, not like, did you get this done and what's our next step? Just team, like, hey, how you doing? What's going on in your life? What do you want to learn? Where are we going? And I think that really, really helps for loyalty, but also for the culture, and also just good, just good karma, just making people feel good. I think that really maps well to business success. And then I think if I picked the third thing, it'd be having somebody in charge of the culture. So for me, I'm great in one-on-one settings, but afterwards, I'm not the rah-rah, hangout, small talk kind of person. So my wife, Nina, is very involved with the members of the team, checking in, asking how they're doing, asking about their dating lives, like asking about their moving, just takes a very personal interest in them, which is great, which I don't really do. And so that balance works out really well.
Okay, so would you say that your team feels like they are part of your family, your business family?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's the intention. we should have, you can interview them next if you want.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's the intention, is that we're doing this together, and that you're growing and learning, and it bothers me if people stop growing and learning. So if you're going to be around me, even if you're not on my team, just if you're around me, movement makers, like if people aren't building and growing and learning new skills and applying them, it bothers me. So yeah, I would hope that everybody feels like they're a part of the family. We probably do a much better job with some people than others, but I think overall people would say, yeah.
So do you include your team on how business is going? And do they certain things that you say, oh, that's, well, I know that they're doing certain things what they're good at, but maybe you see something like, oh, you could do that too. Or maybe you could excel at this thing and they might not have thought about it. So what do you do if you see something like that?
Yeah, so this is something that I love doing. I love finding the hidden potential in people. I love finding something and then giving them a task and then believing in them more than they believe in themselves. That's part of what I'm great at. Of all the things that I suck at and am not good at, that's one thing I'm really great at. And so even just yesterday, I was talking to somebody on our team who we've now put in charge of a lot of research on our channel. And she'd never done research. It wasn't what she signed up to do, administrative data entry kind of stuff. Basically pretty boring, work, but needed to get done. But I asked her to do one project and she did such a great job of finding specific clips. It's like, oh, maybe we should have you in charge of research. And she didn't think she could do it, and she was afraid, and she, didn't have the skills and didn't go to school for it, and all of the limiting beliefs, right? I said, no, just do it. Like, I expect to make lots of mistakes at the beginning. That's okay. Just pay attention to how you feel, and if it's challenging work for you and you like it, then let's keep it up. And so now she's been doing for the past 2 months or so all the research, and yesterday I was talking to her, just complimenting her on everything she's been doing and what a change it's been. So I think being able to try to see the potential in people and what they could become, and how you might be able to give them an opportunity, I think is amazing. I think too, letting people see the end result of their work is important. And we could even do a better job of that. But a lot of times as the entrepreneur, I'm spoiled, right? I get to do speaking gigs. I get to talk with people on IG Lives. I get to see all the comments that come in. I get, after a speaking gig, people come up to me and ask me all sorts of questions, and I get to see the results of what we're doing. But really, that's all a big team effort, because I wouldn't be here without everybody who's contributed. And so even things like sharing the comments, sharing the best comments that come up from our YouTube channel, so that the editor knows the impact that it's having, right? A lot of times the team is behind the scenes and they don't see the results of the work that happens. And you might feel great as the entrepreneur getting all these awards and everything, but they don't necessarily feel connected to the end result. And so making a conscious effort to share a customer story, a social media story, anything that comes in that makes you feel good, share it with the team, because they help contribute to that too, and they'll feel good as well.
So you actually see them appreciate it when you share it?
Yeah, so we have a Facebook group for our team that my wife basically is in charge of. And every week it's trying to recognize somebody, welcome somebody, share a win from a customer or somebody who's viewed our videos, to just make people feel connected. So example, this past week, 2 of the people on our team moved homes, moved to a different spot. They upgraded their home. And so my wife, I wouldn't even think of this, but this is why it's good to have somebody, on the team doing this. My wife recognized them inside the Facebook group to say, hey, congrats to Christina and congrats to Mel for moving to their new place. And then everybody else is like kind of cheering them on and stuff. And, they might post some pictures of their new place and their unfinished kitchen, and just that builds the connection. So it's not when they have to work together on different projects, they kind of already know each other and like each other more than, oh, who's this stranger that I have to start working with?
Cool. That sounds amazing. What would you like to say to those people out there, those business owners who say, I don't really trust people working from home or from a different location because I cannot keep track on them? What would you tell them? Because you have experienced something completely different.
Yeah, well, one, I think it's still about hiring the right people because you could have somebody who comes in your office every day who's stealing from you. You're not going to be able to watch everybody, right? I mean, if you have one person, you might be able to sit behind their desk and watch them all day long, but that means you're not being productive in what you're supposed to be doing. So I think it still comes down to hiring the right people, having a clear culture, and then hiring for that so people feel like the work they're doing is meaningful and impactful. I hate being a micromanager. Uh, if you need micromanaging to get your work done, we're not going to work well together. You know, I need somebody who can actually do their work, be self-motivated, and it's on me and my team to help give them the inspiration and give them exciting projects. But if I have to be on you every day to say, hey, you showed up late, or hey, where is this every day, it's just not going to work out. But I think if you have that mindset that you don't trust people, you can't scale a company, whether it's from home or remote. If you have 10 people, you can't watch everybody. How are you going to get to 100 people? Even if they all work right next to you, you just can't watch them. And so if you have that inherent distrust of people, I think it really prevents you from building any kind of successful business. I inherently trust people, and then they have to give me a reason not to trust them. They got to show that they're not trustworthy.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, just one more question. So, if I know that there are a lot of people out there who say, I'm looking for that right-hand man or woman who can take over, so I can do other stuff, who I can trust, and who I can trust not to run off with everything I'm doing. What would you tell those people?
That they're afraid that the person's going to run off with all of their ideas?
Yeah, so they say, I can't find the right person because if I hire someone who's self-supporting, they either might run off, or when I don't hire someone who's self-supporting but they're on my pay list, they don't feel as compelled, and they don't know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. So they're between, I'm not sure if I can hang on to those people who are working for themselves, who are entrepreneurs, and okay, so let's put people on the paycheck, but they don't understand what it is like to be an entrepreneur.
Sure. Okay. Well, two different things then there. The first is, if you're afraid that they're going to leave you, again, that's not a recipe for success. It's like getting into a relationship and being afraid of getting a divorce. So does that mean you never date anybody and you never, right? I mean, it's losing thinking from the start. Your goal should be, just like in a marriage, I want to attract the right person, and then I want to keep them happy and keep them in love with what we're doing. And that should be your focus. If all of your energy is going into why are they going to leave me, and how and when is it going to happen, and you've got this paranoia, it's the same mindset as this employee is going to be stealing from me. It doesn't mean that may not happen, but if you are working towards trying to keep the culture and try to keep people happy, and growing and inspired, then they're much more likely to stick around. The second part of the question was around the employees don't understand what the entrepreneur is going through. Yeah. And, right? I mean, that's why they're an employee. Like, you can't expect them to know what you're going through. They have a different risk tolerance than you do, being the entrepreneur, but the reward is also massively different. If the company starts to win, are you going to give them a huge chunk of the business? Are they sharing in a massive part of the profits? Usually not. Even if you have a profit sharing program or equity, you're still getting a big disproportionate amount of the income that comes in, and you're taking a disproportionate amount of the risk that comes in. They show up, they get their paycheck, there might be some bonuses included, but if the company blows up, you're the one who's going to make it rich, and they're going to have a little bit extra money, right? So don't expect the employees to work as hard as you. Don't expect them to know what you're going through and the stresses that are happening. In one of my businesses, the salsa dancing business here, it sucks right now. Like, nobody's taking salsa classes during Corona. It's the exact opposite of social distancing. And so the number one priority has been keeping the team paid. So I'm taking the loss, right? Every month. I'm paying 5 figures in rent every month. I'm paying salaries out every month with very little coming in, and I'm not pulling it out of them to say, hey, well, okay, we're losing, so nobody gets a paycheck, right? I'm the last one to get a paycheck. But if the business blows up, I'm gonna make a lot of money before them too, right? So that's just part of the equation of being an entrepreneur. Don't put that burden on the team to say, well, you don't understand what I'm going through. They won't. They won't care as much as you. They won't work as hard as you. This is your baby that you're creating, and you're taking the risk, but you also get the big rewards.
That's true. That's true. So do you have them do something else at the salsa business? Now they can't work at the salsa business.
Well, we're trying to move to an online model. So there's still some people who are coming in, but it's much. Legally, we can't even have a full class would be 40 students. We can't do that legally in Canada, right? 10 is our max. Already, even if we sold out max, we'd be at 25% capacity, 25% of revenue, which is crazy. So now we're looking to move to an online model. So it's shifting people's skills to say, okay, how can we do what we do in our class and move it to an online version? And we haven't figured it out all the way. We're still tweaking and working on that model, because a big part of dancing is meeting people and connecting. It's not just about learning how to do a step. So it's trying to find other opportunities. And the team has been awesome and they want to do it. If somebody said, no, I don't want to do online, like, okay, well, I don't have classes to give you, so what else do you want to do, right? It's a little bit of give and take on both. This is also kind of an extraordinary time, obviously. But yeah, it's the pivot to say, hey, what else can we do? What else do you want to learn? How can we make this work with our business and also that you're happy?
How do you keep them motivated?
Well, one, hopefully the mission of the business continues to motivate them, that their personal mission is aligned with the motivation of the business. Two, seeing the results of the work, right? So seeing that, hey, the video they edited led to people saying how much they loved it. And then three, the connection, the me talking to them, helping them, growing. There's always something that they're learning and growing, hopefully. If you feel like you're always learning, you wake up and you feel like the work you do matters, you're connected to great people, and you're always learning and growing, you'll be motivated.
True. So is there one last thing you would like to say to those business owners out there?
Yeah, just recognize that hiring is scary. Building a team is scary. You're going to make mistakes. The first person you hire is probably not going to work out. Not because they suck. It's because you suck at hiring, because you don't know what you're doing yet. And that's okay. It's very rare that the first employee at any business is still there in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, just because you don't know how to hire properly. And how do you do it? Well, through practice and experience. So a lot of people want to bring on somebody, and then again, when they realize it doesn't work out, they just go back to do everything themselves. No, that's not what you want to do. Just because the first person that you dated didn't marry you doesn't mean you stop dating. Like, you're smarter now. You know a little bit better about what you want and how you can be a better leader. So continue to reach out, continue to try, because if you've got a big mission, you cannot do this all by yourself. True.
And unfortunately, I know those who still try to do the stuff themselves, even when they have a team. So
they need your book. When is it coming out?
Yeah, exactly. So, well, thank you for everything you shared, because you show that it can be done differently, that people can have fun working in the business, and that they can be appreciated and trusted. And you've also shown to entrepreneurs and business owners that if you value your people and you see them and show them that you see them and value them, that they will just come there with a smile and work even better and harder. So, well, smarter.
I love
So,
it. Well, thank you, Lexi. Great questions, and can't wait to see the book.
okay, thank you so much, and I'll let you know.
All right. Take care. Bye.